Hi, I'm Davina, and I'm recovering from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse. And today I would like to talk to you about the narcissist's dismissiveness. And this, I feel like I'm learning more about this word and just what it really encompasses. Um, it really, for me, really describes how my parents were towards me. And it really messes you up. It really does. When you're treated like you're a non-person, or like you're not worthy, or you're not important. Um, that your voice is not even heard. So I'd like to give you some examples of how narcissists can dismiss you. And it can be very subtle if you're not aware of these patterns. So one way is simply by ignoring you. So you might be in the room with them. You might be, say, maybe you're sitting at the dinner table with your parents and your siblings, and it's like you feel like you're not even there because the conversation is going around everybody but you. And you might feel like they're even talking about things that you can't seem to like relate to or even have something to say about. So, or you walk into a room and they don't say hello. They don't they don't call you by name. They don't say good morning, Davina. They just kind of ignore you. They can really just ignore you, like pretend you don't even like your presence isn't even there. So that one, yeah, can be obviously very, yeah, just feels, yeah, it just feels horrible, right? To be just ignored, neglected. No one is paying attention to you. So that's the first one. Number two, also narcissists are very well known for being non-responsive. So you send them a text, you ask them a question, they don't respond. Or you're having a conversation with them and you bring something up to them, something you wanted to discuss, and they don't respond. They'll find a way to wiggle out of it. Or they may change the topic. They will give you the silent treatment. So yeah, if they feel like they're somehow threatened by something you're doing, or something that you're trying to discuss with them, they may just, they put up that wall and they may just not say anything, really being completely non-responsive. They may stonewall you, which is slightly different. It's when you specifically bring up, a boundary issue with them and say, when you did this, I felt like this, and, my feelings are hurt, and I feel like I'd like to discuss this with you. And they will say something like, well, I'm not bothered by that at all. I don't feel like there's anything to discuss. No hard feelings. And you're like, what? Wait a minute. I brought up an issue with you, and now you're saying there's nothing to discuss, or, oh, don't worry about it. They're just like, yeah, they will not want to openly converse with you. They don't want to hear about your your needs, your feelings. So this is another way, just being non-responsive, not answering to your requests, your boundaries, or what you want to talk about. Number three is disregarding your boundaries. And they might do it just very, very just, I don't know what the word is, like just obviously, it might be so obvious. They might, you might tell them, please be on time. I really appreciate it when you're on time, and I need that promptness so that I know that I'm important. And they might just blatantly, that's the word, blatantly, like ignore, disregard that boundary. And they'll just be like, no, I'm going to be late, right? That's their, their little power trip. Or you might say, can you please text me before you phone me? And they'll just, nope, I'm not going to do it. Nope. They'll just say, well, this is the way I do things. I just like to call you whenever I feel like calling you. Yeah, just blatant disregard of your boundaries. They don't care. And this is, of course, a power trip, right? If you disregard someone's boundary, like that's just you, a person trying to maintain control and superiority. Number 4 is they will, I've talked about this one a lot, they will deny, dismiss, and invalidate your feelings. They will just sort of brush them aside because they can't be bothered, right? So whether you're maybe just just saying, oh yeah, I'm really sad about this thing that's going on at my work, and they'll just be like, well, don't worry about it. That's all they'll do. They'll just be like, don't worry about it, or you'll be fine, or you're strong. They might just say something like that too, like just something very, very brief and dismissive. Or they might say, to a child, they'll say, well, you can't be hungry. You just ate half an hour ago, and the child is hungry. That's kind of a classic example. This is the way that they say to you, basically, your feelings don't matter to me. You don't matter to me, So that is one that is, very, very, very hurtful. And finally, number 5, they will control and dominate a conversation. They will make it mostly about themselves, probably, talk 80, maybe 90% of the time, so that you can't get a word in edgewise. They may very cleverly, you might think they're asking you questions. Oh, it seems like they're interested a bit, but if you pay attention to their questions, they're very closed questions like, have you done that yet? Right? It's a closed questions, or, so not asking just wide open questions like, what have you been up to lately? Or how are you feeling? Or, what's going on with your girlfriend or whatever. So they'll also interrupt you. They may cut you off so that you say maybe 1 or 2 sentences, and then boom, they're in there. They're like already like just cutting you off, maybe changing the topic. There was one more that was popping into my mind. They may even sort of they may ask you a question, but then kind of answer it themselves. There's many ways in conversations where they will dominate. They will choose the topics. Ask those close-ended questions. And they won't listen, right? That's dismissiveness too, like just not listening. So these are the many ways that narcissists give you the message that you're not worthy, that you're not important, that you are not as good as, or as in, as valuable as they are. So I would like to just go over that one more time, just so you know. So 1 is just, really just ignoring you, ignoring that your presence, you're in the room. Number 2, being non-responsive, for example, silent treatment and stonewalling. Number 3, blatant disregard of your boundaries. Number 4, denying, dismissing, and invalidating your feelings. And number 5, controlling and dominating conversations. And of course, all of this is to keep you silent, to silence you because you are a threat to their very fragile ego. They know, they know that you're highly sensitive. They know that if you spoke your truth and they, that they would be exposed, right? Their deficiencies, their shortcomings, their weaknesses will be exposed. And so they will do anything to keep you quiet. And dismissiveness is a very powerful tool in the narcissist's little toolbox. And of course, as I always say, this is likely not done at a conscious level, but that does not matter. You know, it's the impact that is important here. So I hope that was a little helpful for you today, or maybe showed you something from a different perspective. And I am wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina Shamaya at Boldness Blooming. Thank you for listening and have a peaceful day.